me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta feel the vengeance. In my thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video and hit that bell. But today we are going to be going over, we had rookie minicamp, and I know it's going to be a whole bunch of, there's no pads, there's no nothing going on, but we get to see the skill traits that some of our rookies have. So first off, we're going to start with that they actually cut a couple of players today. So they cut offensive lineman Alex Jensen, DJ Scaife, and then tackle Jarrett Hurst. They cut those three guys after minicamp. DJ Scaife, I thought could be something, but whatever, it is what it is. That's probably just because I'm a U fan, but we're going to dive right into it. Right now, we're going to start off with Cam Smith was in rookie minicamps, and we have Travis Wingfield that was over there. He was kind of taking notes and talking about what was going on with the rookie minicamp. And what I'm hearing right now is that there's going to be a couple things with Cam Smith, but the boy's a leader, and that guy looks really good. So obviously he was picked in the second round, so he's going to be good. But they are saying right now that his fluidity in his hips and in his turning and his backpedaling and his cutting, the shuffling, I mean, they are saying that he looks phenomenal right now. And he was doing all the drills to perfection. And one of the key things here is that on every drill that he did, he made sure that he was the first one up, which is pretty crazy. Sometimes you get in these mini camps and, in anything in life, you get a little nervous, this and that. What you want to see from a cornerback, especially of this caliber, is that you want to see that he is trying to step into that leadership role and that he's confident. What he's showcasing by being the first one up in every drill is that he is very confident in his ability and what he can do as a football player, which is very exciting. Like I said in the previous video where we talk about Cam Smith, I mean, he's one of those that has all the skill traits to be a phenomenal player in the league. And I think if we can unlock a lot of those skill traits, you have the next cornerback that can step into the number 1 role right after whatever happens with Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. I mean, you are setting yourself up so that your defense never takes a step back. His backpedaling looked good. He was taking on leadership. And also, one of the things that I want to describe is that South Carolina produces a lot of good cornerbacks. I mean, just a couple to name is Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Horn. Both came out of South Carolina. Cam Smith is coming out of, a place where they produce a lot of good cornerbacks. So I think we are in really good hands so far looking at Cam Smith and what he can do. Who knows? Maybe we'll put somebody in the slot. And he even plays some snaps this year, outside the slot. I mean, he's actually mostly an outside guy, so maybe you put X in the slot or something along those lines. I don't know, but it's looking real cool for Cam Smith right now. Now the next one, Devon Achane, he obviously the running back drills is not going to be too much because there's no pads, there's no offensive lineman, really too much, no one's touching you. You're kind of not really being able to showcase what you can do as a running back. But what I'm hearing as well with Devon Achane is that he looked like a wide receiver out there. Like the routes he was running, he was disguising every single route, and he looked really good. I mean, he looked like a wide receiver. He was setting up linebackers for his routes, and there was even a couple balls, one of them in particular, that, one of the knocks on him was that he didn't outstretch to go up for a catch. There was a ball that was out of his radius, and he stretched himself out and caught that thing. He is showcasing exactly what I said in the last video, that Devon Achane is going to give us that really premier pass-catching running back out of the backfield. That's what they were trying to do with, I'm forgetting his name, but Chase Edmonds. They were trying to do that with Chase Edmonds because Chase Edmonds had that pass-catching ability. The unfortunate problem was that he just kept dropping passes all the time and he couldn't catch the ball. But they were trying to get that out of the backfield. And the thing is that Mostert was supposed to be the straight-up inline running back, and then Chase Edmonds was supposed to also be the pass-catching end. So it was supposed to be a tag team in between those two, but Chase Edmonds never turned out. He couldn't get yards, all this different stuff. Devon Achane is basically like a improved Chase Edmonds, whereas he's faster and it looks like he can catch the ball a little better. I don't know what happened with Chase Edmonds, but I mean, his confidence fell off. But Devon Achane is going to give us this pass catching ability out of the backfield, and he looks really good. Like, we're talking about like the routes he was running. He is running routes like a receiver, which is nuts. You know what I'm saying? That gives you such an awesome weapon to help Tua out and to allow him to just dink and dunk or have an underneath route instead of just having all deep routes now. You know, whereas we couldn't really do that because, again, what you don't understand is just because you're a running back doesn't mean that you are able to run routes. There are a lot of running backs that cannot do that. And the thing is Mostert is great, but he cannot run crisp routes where you literally get a linebacker squared up and you make your move and you're gone. You know, that's what premier running backs do in the league, or the premier pass catching ones, and that's what makes them so sought after by different teams, is that you have a guy that can just one-on-one match up a person that can't cover, you know, actual receivers, and you play like a receiver. So those pass catching running backs, they get a bunch of yards because they just get right out in the flat and they just mix up a linebacker. And then they're gone. Elijah Higgins. Again, this is going to be one of the most interesting guys coming out of rookie minicamp. We're going to just basically go over our draft picks. You know, all the undrafted free agents, you know, they're doing their thing, but they still need a lot of work. But Elijah Higgins, what they are telling me, and I'm guessing he put on some weight, because they are saying that he looks big. He looks like a big dude. So I'm guessing he put on some weight so far in this offseason, and they're saying that he really does look like he has that wide receiver experience at tight end. Again, the blocking they're going to start working on as well, but his route running for a tight end, which he's going to transition to, is pretty stellar. They're saying that he explodes out of his cuts. He is doing a lot of disguising when it comes to standing up linebackers, and they're even saying that his hips, when he sinks his hips, he disguises his route very well, and that people are not catching on to him, and he just explodes out of it. Like, there was one where he just caught the ball and exploded out of his route and just took it down the field 20 miles an hour. Like, they were saying he looked fast, strong, big. He was running routes like the man. So he is going to be an interesting rookie to look after, because you talk about Dalton Kincaid, and it's a great player, but essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a Dalton Kincaid out of Elijah Higgins, which I know obviously he's a 6th-round pick. It's a little bit different, but just based upon, you know, who he is and what he was doing. I mean, he was Stanford's leading receiver, and right now he's looking like he's smoothly transitioned to tight end, just to the point where he just needs to figure out how to inline block. And if he can figure that out, which you get a player that late because they're projects. That's the reason why you grab those players in the later rounds, because they're projects. They can either turn into nothing or they can turn into something great, and that's usually what happens. You know, they're either great or they turn into nothing. Elijah Higgins could be that type of dude that, you know, you played him at wide receiver so much, no one ever thought to play him at tight end, or they just didn't have the ability to because they didn't have other players, and he couldn't block. You know, now you have, that's the difference with college, is you have 3 years to mold these players, whereas in the NFL you can kind of take them under and they don't have to play. They can just groom and you can see what you have in them. But they're saying that he looks very good at route running. He looks like a premier pass catching type of guy, tight end. Just needs to learn how to block, and we'll see where he gets to that, but he's looking much bigger than he did in college, so he's looking like he put on some weight. Ryan Hayes, you know, he's a 7th-round pick. There's, you know, they were saying that, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't look for anything for Ryan Hayes. It doesn't look like he's doing much so far. It looks like he is a 7th-rounder, and, you know, he has a lot to learn. And, you know, usually the 7th-rounders, they are basically picks that you're just trying to get an undrafted free agent before they become undrafted. That's essentially what you're doing in the 7th round. So Ryan Hayes, you know, he has a lot to learn. He has potential. He can be, you know, something. We'll see. But right now it's just looking like he's got a lot on his plate, and he really, you know, we'll see. We'll see. He might be a practice squad player for a while. But, I mean, the 3 picks that we have, you know, we'll see where they're at. But, I mean, they're all looking pretty impressive in rookie minicamp, and I think we have a lot to look forward to in these guys. Now, in other news, we're just going to go over this. So Dalvin Cook is actually expected to be released on June 1st, and I know a lot of people are getting very excited about this, but we are going to see what the player wants, because what I'm saying right now is that, when you get released, it's completely different than being traded, because now you have a bunch of teams interested in you, whereas before people have to trade up picks and players and all this stuff. Now you're a free agent, so now everyone's going to be interested. And what I'm interested in seeing is, yes, he said he wanted to go to Miami. That is completely true, but now that you have teams coming after you, there's a bunch more teams with a bunch more cap space that could possibly want to go after him. And I'm wondering that if that paycheck starts becoming a little bit bigger, and because I know the Dolphins aren't going to spend $15 million on Dalvin Cook. We're not going to do that because we feel pretty successful with our running back squad. We're going to get him if financially it makes sense, that we have enough cap room that just in case we can sign, and build throughout whatever we're getting. Because again, we're getting the Byron Jones cap relief is coming on June 1st as well. So we can sign other players. We can sign some people. We can wait to see who's going to get released or whatever it may be. So I'm interested in seeing that. I'm interested in seeing, if, say, the Dallas Cowboys come out, or the Eagles come out, or I don't know, the Bears, or, any of those teams come out and they're just like, we're going to pay you this astronomical amount of money to be our running back. I'm interested in seeing if he actually really does want to go to Miami, because there's a big difference, when you're like in a no trade clause or whatever it is, and, you're sitting there and you're like, I want to go to Miami. You're kind of telling your team, I want to go to Miami. But, then when it's like you're released, well, now you can go wherever you want, and everybody that's interested in you is going to be interested in you. So now you can just get the biggest paycheck. And I'm wondering if that takes actual effect of Dalvin Cook, or does he actually want to go to Miami and he'll take a pay cut to come here? I'm interested in seeing that, because sometimes you never know with some of these players. They're in their later days. You either grab your next paycheck or you go on a contending team. I'm not sure which one he wants. Even Buffalo might even reach out and try and get him with his brother, because he has his brother over there, James Cook. So we'll see where Dalvin is. I'll keep you updated on that whole situation. But as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up. Peace.